One of the best ways of thinking about anything that you do in general in your life, probably all of your parents or grandparents would tell you, you know that the way you behave on a consistent basis is the way that people are going to know you, and you want to have good, consistent behavior. Now, fortunately and unfortunately, moments of passion, comments that are said in a flurry, or conversations that are said online are available from now forever. And we gave some examples before of companies who have experienced that. Some of you might have heard about the FedEx Ketchum advertising blow up, where there was a Ketchum executive that said some disparaging things about Memphis when he was about to go give a keynote for FedEx employees. And these little tiny things, this one little tweet that came out from that conversation ended up spreading so quickly out of context. And so there's a danger just thinking about how something might just be a news bite on the evening news, where you really want to be careful and thoughtful about how you're acting. The other thing is something that I learned. I used to train martial arts for a lot of years, and it was more what an older martial arts master was telling me about the way in which you appear to everybody. I said, how do you survive in this world of intrigue and backstabbing and people from different schools and challengers and everything? And he said, to the outside world, you have that same smiling face to everybody. And then you choose who it is that you really let come into your inner circle. And you always really maintain that calm, which makes you a better fighter, where you can respond more quickly, but you're not one that's really thrown off balance. As soon as you respond and you attack is where you open yourself to be vulnerable. So ultimately, your integrity as a brand is wanting to be somebody who's consistent. I've never seen the case where it ends up being beneficial to get down and dirty with somebody who's being a troll. People can be really mean, and they say things that are not true, and it's really, really bad, and they should, have a timeout. But it's not up to you to be publicly admonishing them, because that probably will live on out of context and end up biting you or biting your company. So it's just not worth it. Take the high road.
I agree, and I think that's where you have to choose your battles. And I'm going to go back to some of the fundamental things that I think are important to help manage some of these situations. And having, if you've got your traditional crisis communication strategy, policy, program, whatever it is, and that's changed. You've got to integrate the social media components to it, and you don't have the time or the luxury to. We don't certainly have the time or luxury to go and write up a comment, get it through legal, and get it to your CEO, and then go, okay, it's all good to go, we're all happy. We just don't have that luxury. Today it's about rapidly responding and being able to choose what you're going to respond to. And some of the errors that I've seen with Nestle, I think, was one of the examples, and I blogged about it, so I sort of know the issue a little bit more than others. But when people started putting negative comments, whoever was managing their Facebook started deleting the comments. This is a public platform. You've invited your fans to engage and say what they want. So I think you have to accept the good, the bad, and the ugly of social media, and the communications and the comments that come with it. So I think you have to understand, first of all, what is your social media communications strategy, and what does that policy look like? You've got to be able to work that out with your senior management. You've got to work it out with your, with your legal and HR, and say, look, guys, this is a reality of today, and this is how we have to approach our communication strategy online and via traditional channels.